Hi everybody, Brett Coombs from Munro Property Group. So I just thought coming to you live from our office for a change, which is good to be in here. It feels a bit weird. It feels like I'm trespassing almost because we haven't been here for 8 weeks almost now. So, but I'm in here on Wednesdays, so just to handle some buyer inquiry on some off the plan townhouse sales. We've got in Ivingham a couple of new developments, so it's a bit easier to print everything off an A3, etc. So what's happening with the marketplace at the moment? So there's a bit of mixed messages out there, obviously, in the press, and they're still talking about house prices dropping. We're seeing the opposite in Adelaide. So as you may know, the March quarter had a slight increase. April has been tracking along the same sort of way. I've just looked at the figures, so they're going back to the 20th of April, and all suburbs in this around Norwood region are up. So some are up higher than others. So Tranmere's up 7%, Campbelltown's up 5%, Felixstowe's up 14%. I got a couple of sales in there, so I might have something to do with that. McGill's up 4%. Hectorville is up 7%. So, and if you look at Norwood, the snapshot for Norwood primarily at the moment has been quite good. So if you look at the graph, it's still on an upwards trajectory. Median value in Norwood is up 17%. So it's median price range in Norwood is at $1 million. Sales have been up. So the number of properties coming onto the market, which really shows some sort of confidence, and it also means that we can really take the stats at face value, not some anomaly like there's 2 sales and we've got a record or a downward price. So Norwood days on market is at 40, which is really good in this period. Number of sales at 86. Vendor discounting, so that's when we advertise a property. So say if we want 800,000 and we say, look, really let's put it on the market at 850 and see what happens. All of us agents do it. So if we had it on at 8, we'd have offers at 750, 700. So we bump prices up a little bit, and they are only down about 3%. So which is not a lot in terms of 3% of 800,000. So rental yields at 4%. So really, what is happening though now is the number of new listings coming onto the market. So we're down in the Norwood area about 30%. I think average across the state, number of listings down on the same period last year are about average of 50%. So and that will have an effect on pricing be the other way. So I think there's still a lot of people moving. There's still people relocating from interstate. Anybody that's got a job and got secured finance, and we'll touch on finance in a minute, but is ready to buy. So then number of listings are down, so that'll have an effect on pricing, which will be keeping pricing probably level to what we are now. But one thing I've noticed at the moment, so we've got a few contracts on the go, happily. So, but we're finding that those finance clauses are 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. We've got one just approved up to 8 weeks, which is disgusting from the banks, I think. But a lot of that is the fact that they've got overseas staff and those processing centres are closed. So, and they're not geared up to work from home, nor would you want them with your data to be working from home. It's not secure, especially in places like Thailand and Indonesia, etc. So banks are really taking a long time to get finance. In fact, one of the brokers said to me yesterday, Brett, we're not going to have loan approvals for up to 3 months. So which is a bit disgraceful, I think. But it's so if you are thinking of buying, I would suggest that you really go into your bank, get a pre-approval subject to valuation of your next house, and really just bear in mind that, okay, it could be 2 months before we actually get into our house. So, which leads me coming up over this period, we're almost at winter, believe it or not, already. Really, if you want to sell in that spring period and be in by Christmas, you need to get your houses ready now. So you need to be really looking at doing everything that you can, probably inside the property, and really looking at what we need to do, what do we need to declutter, do we need to organise storage, all those sort of things that we can organise for our clients. We're having to really project manage getting a house on the market now. It's not just a matter of, let's walk in there tomorrow, do a house clean, get rid of a few things and take some photos and whack it on realestate.com and we're right. It's a longer period at the moment. So, and really home styling and bathroom renovations, all those little things can really make a big difference to the price depending on what you want to spend, especially in the Nord area. So if you're looking at doing a bathroom reno at about 10,000-15,000, sometimes a little bit more, but if you're really looking at doing those things, they really make a big difference to your price. So if people walk into a home during this period and they think, wow, I love it, we just have to move in, put our furniture in. Some people even want the furniture, but if they can really look at all those things and they think, wow, we just move in, that you really find that it does really affect your price. So a couple of things there. Get your houses ready on the market now for spring to be in by Christmas, but really get your finance sorted. The banks are really delaying finance at the moment, and if you are selling, just have the expectation that finance clauses will blow out a little bit. And the issue with finance is that you can't pull out of the contract. So if the purchaser says, my finance is not going to be ready for 3 months, well, at best you can do is force them to settle, give them 7 days notice, and then it sort of drags on. So to put a house back on the market after all of that and re-kicking off your marketing and etc., you don't want to be doing that. So just bear in mind your timing a little bit, and obviously that will affect pricing. So pricing will be I think pretty good over the spring period, but I still think there won't be enough houses for sale, and I still think I'll be getting a lot of clients ringing me in November saying, hey Brett, we want to be sold by Christmas, which is probably not going to happen this year. Things are taking a little bit longer to get organised for sale. Inspection numbers, while they're quite good, they're still down a little bit. People are expecting some flexibility on opens, so just be prepared to have a lot of midweek opens. Have give the agent the keys for inspections during the week, especially the first 2 to 3 weeks. Really, be a bit more flexible on when the agent can open your house. We're finding at the moment that we advertise a new listing, do a letterbox drop, and get some VIPs in there, and they're not ready to look, and they're not interested in opens on a Saturday. They're still they're out shopping or doing whatever they need to do, but the inquiries are not coming in like that first week, which we kind of all, agents, all the marketing that we do is to get as much traction as we can that first couple of weeks. Well, that's kind of being a bit delayed. So we're finding that people aren't calling up that first week. It might be week 2 and week 3. And we're delaying our online auctions too. So instead of a 3-week campaign, we're now doing 5 to 6, just to get the same amount of people through. And again, finance is a bit of an issue at the moment, so those people too need to be pre-approved, get their finances sorted, get evaluations done on the property, etc. So it's a little bit of a strange time at the moment. I think the buyers are still keen. They're slower to make decisions. Vendors' expectations are still pretty high overall. So we want to be sold in 2 weeks, and it's just not going to happen at the moment. So. But also the buyers still want that flexibility of when they look at a home. They want to look at midweek. They want to come back on a Thursday night with the partner or husband, wife, whatever, and then show the kids on a Sunday. So it's a bit of a strange time, but at least things are ticking over. Adelaide's really going well. Melbourne and Sydney, yes, they have seen a big decrease, 10-20% in some areas. 20% of $5 million house in Sydney. You work that out, it's a big hit, but they've had that growth too. So Sydney's always up and down, hot, cold, and you only really, just like a share, you only lose money on a house when you sell it. So at the moment things are quite good. Market's reasonably well. I think spring will be strong, but I think there won't be enough listings on the market, which will those properties that are on the market will probably sell. And another thing is all that, they really lean on your agent for assistance and getting your house ready, looking at storage facilities for decluttering, painters, all that sort of thing that can really go in there and bring your house up to market, make those photos look good, and bring the house, getting the house ready for market. So it's a bit of a strange time at the moment, but overall, sales are still happening. And we're starting to slowly get back to normal. So agencies are some are half working. Some people are in sort of 2-3 days a week, and then there might be a new team coming in for the later part of the week for 2-3 days. So generally somebody's around the place. So take care of each other, and remember, if you're looking at making a move before Christmas, you really need to be starting to think about that. Some of the news of the area at the moment, so Nord Moretta High School's been slated for a $50 million upgrade. That obviously will have effect on pricing, definitely. So there's a lot of people that really target a house for education. Sometimes they don't even walk in a house, they just buy it to get in the school zone. And they're going to be offering the international curriculum baccalaureate or something, so which qualifies the kids for overseas uni, I believe. So watch this space. I'll do a bit of a video on that when I get some more information. But yeah, Nord Moretta High School, those two campuses to be merging, and possibly a new primary school in the Ross Trevor campus, which will be good and good for everybody. Kids' education, which this current government is really focusing on, is better for jobs, better for people to relocate, and a lot of buyer interest there. So that could have a real big difference on pricing in this area, really keep it stable, but to also maybe get some growth happening over the next couple of years. I think that school will be finished in 2022. So that's some exciting news for the area, apart from the fact that lots of shops are getting back to normal. Small business up the parade is slowly getting back to normal. The numbers are still down. I looked down the street this afternoon at lunch and it was like, oh, geez, a bit quiet. But overall the area is really, really positive, which is good. We're nice and positive, so we'll be probably, obviously offices will be open in probably a month's time. In July, just before the end of financial year. So things are looking good at the moment. So if you've got any questions, call me on 0421 323 699. You'll find me on Facebook. So if you want to just send me a quick text message. There'll be a few initiatives that we'll be doing in the next couple of months to get you ready for spring. So look out for those. And we've also got our accounting series webinar. So this Saturday, 1 o'clock. You'll need to register through Zoom, but this Saturday is on investment property and the structure to look at before you purchase. Last week we did a webinar on land tax and all those changes which affect everybody, and that sort of almost went for an hour, that session. So follow us on Facebook and please register for the webinar, and even if you can't make it, you can always watch the replays, which is something that gives you that flexibility if you can't make it at 1 o'clock on Saturday. So bye for now, stay safe, and talk to you soon. Thank you.